Obviously, the clinical trials will take time, but when your life is in the balance, it's hard to accept these slow protocols. Nora Quinn is not waiting, even though she's anything but impulsive. This county judge from Los Angeles wanted to tell us her story, and at the same time, meet the scientist who has restored hope for her, as she says.
Dr. Longo, I'm Nora Quinn.
When she read an article in the Los Angeles Times describing the work of Longo, Nora Quinn made her decision. She had just been diagnosed with breast cancer.
So if I'd waited for them to go through the human trials process, it would have been 10 years later, I'd be dead from breast cancer. So since I had to start chemotherapy then, I couldn't wait. And I was very lucky. My oncologist was open to the idea. She didn't encourage me to do it, but she didn't say no. She said, if you want to fast, go ahead, do it. She goes, I don't think it'll make any difference, but go ahead and do it.
Nora Quinn had to complete 5 chemotherapy sessions. She was afraid of the side effects, especially the disturbance of her cognitive functions. Under the supervision of a doctor friend, she fasted 5 days before the first chemotherapy. She felt good and could continue working. For the next 2 sessions, her oncologist persuaded her not to fast. She reacted very badly to the chemotherapy. She felt so bad that she decided to fast before the last 2 chemo sessions. Again, she felt much better.
There's no question in my mind that I came out of the treatment with fewer side effects and less long-term fatigue and chemo brain than my friends who did not fast, who went through similar rounds of chemotherapy. There's no question in my mind.
Nora Quinn is not the only patient to have fasted spontaneously. Among the 30 people who've tried it, the Norris Hospital was able to take a sample group of 10, see their medical records, and obtain their analysis. Nora Quinn was part of that study. The results confirmed those observed in mice. The fasting made chemotherapy more bearable. Fatigue, weakness, nausea, and headaches were significantly reduced.
I remember that.
But if fasting protects the potentially devastating effects of chemotherapy, how does it affect the chemo itself? Does it make it more effective or not? Before answering this crucial question, we need to first understand the mechanisms by which fasting protects healthy cells. Does fasting cause a change in gene expression? Longo selected cells from the liver, heart, and muscles. If we unravel the DNA strands, here are the genes. These genes are directing the work of the cell. Their expression is normal. After 2 days of fasting, Longo observed a radical change in the expression of the genes. Some were overexpressed, others underexpressed. The genes had modified the cell's functions, putting them in protection mode. It was a total transformation, which happened very quickly, as if this ability came from an ancient genetic memory.
The normal cells, having learned all the lessons in those 3 billion years, enter a protective mode. They have to, because there's low glucose, low nutrients. They have to stand by and stay as protected as possible. And chemotherapy is one of the things they have to be protected against.
So the cells protect themselves as an atavistic reflex. Yvon Lemao, the penguin specialist, had put us on that track. But if fasting protects healthy cells, doesn't it also protect cancer cells? If so, Longo's whole thesis collapses. Let's compare a cancer cell with a normal cell. After 2 days of fasting, the genes of the cancer cell are expressed in the opposite way to those of the healthy cell. As the cancer cells have undergone genetic mutations, they've lost the evolutionary memory and the protection mechanisms do not occur.
The cancer cells hate this low glucose, low growth factor environment,